Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. We are discussing the electromagnetics or EMFT, and today in this session we are going to talk about the coordinate system and the vector analysis. This is the second part of the coordinate system. Let's quickly revise what we have done or what we have studied in the previous part, and then we are going to start the vector addition and the vector subtraction in this video. First of all, I have already told you different types of coordinate system, where I told you there are two types. First is orthogonal, second is non-orthogonal. We were discussing the orthogonal type of coordinate system, and in that we were discussing the Cartesian coordinate system. This figure represents our Cartesian coordinate system. Here we have x, y and z axis. Okay, so all of these axes are perpendicular to each other, and we have the unit vectors along these axes, which are ax, ay and az unit vectors. Okay, so now here if I have any point A in the space, this point A can be represented with the point ax, ay and az. Ax is the point where this point A's perpendicular line is intersecting the x-axis. Ay is the point where A's perpendicular line is intersecting the y-axis, and Az is the point where A's perpendicular line is intersecting the z-axis. Okay, now A vector is represented with the help of magnitude as well as direction. Okay, how we represented the A vector? A vector was represented as Ax, Ay and Az with the directions as well. Directions are represented as Ax, Ay and Az. So how I can represent the point A? So this is how I can represent the A vector, Ax plus Ay plus Az. Okay, so now if I have to find out the magnitude of the Ax vector, so I can find out the magnitude of the Ax vector to be under root Ax square plus Ay square plus Az square. Okay, so now if I have to find out the unit vector along this A direction, so here also we can have a unit vector. So let's suppose this is my A cap. Okay, the unit vector along the A direction. So I am representing it with A cap, and A cap will be equal to A vector upon the magnitude of A. How I represented A vector? It was Ax plus Ay plus Az upon the magnitude of A. Magnitude of A was under root Ax square plus Ay square plus Az square. Now I have two terminology. First terminology is the position vector, and the second is the distance vector. If I have any vector A, if I have to find out the position vector of the vector A, then I will be finding out the distance from the origin to the point A. So this will be giving me the position vector of the point A. Similarly, in the similar manner, I can find out the position vector of the point B as well. I will be finding out the position vector from the origin to the B. So this is how I can find out the position vector. Now what is the distance vector? Distance vector is the minimum distance between the 2 points. Now any one of these 2 points cannot be the origin. Okay, so if I have 2 points A and B, how I have represented A? A was Ax plus Ay plus Az. How I represented B? B was Bx plus By plus Bz. Okay, you should remember that unit vectors along x, y and z direction are Ax, Ay and Az only. So now in the representation of B vector also, the unit vectors are Ax. Okay, you can represent it with the I cap, J cap and K cap as well. I have taken the representation as Ax, Ay and Az, and this is what I will be following throughout this playlist. Okay, so now distance vector is in between these 2 points. None of the point is origin, and whenever I am computing the distance vector, I have to choose both of the point to be the separate points in the space, and none of them can be the origin. So the minimum distance between these 2 points A and B can be giving me the distance vector, and it can be easily found out. It will be equal to the displacement between the 2 points or the minimum distance between the 2 points. Now coming to the vector addition. So now let's suppose if I have these two vectors, A vector and B vector, how I can represent the vector addition between these two vectors? Vector addition is represented as A vector plus B vector, which is equal to Okay, so a vector plus b vector is equal to ax plus bx, direction is ax, ay plus by, direction is ay, az plus bz, direction is az. What I have done, I have added the x component, so the x component is ax and bx over here. I have added the y components and denoted it with the direction of y, which is ay. Okay, so in the similar manner, I can find out the vector subtraction as well. Okay, I have to denote a vector minus b vector. How I can represent it? Again, I will be taking the x components of vector a and vector b. So what is x component? Ax and bx. So I will be simply doing ax minus bx ax. Okay, so this is how I can find out the vector subtraction as well. But is it that easy? Okay, if I have two vectors, let's suppose I have these two vectors. Okay, so now if I have to do the vector addition of these two vectors, you can see both of the vectors are in the same directions. Both of them are having ax component only. Okay, so I can easily represent its vector addition as 2 plus 4ax, which is 6ax. If I have to do the vector subtraction, so I can easily do 2 minus 4ax, which is minus 2ax. What is represented by minus? Which means the negative direction. So the subtraction represent the output will be in this direction. Okay, so this 2ax represent the subtraction component and this 6ax represents the addition component. So this is how I can easily find out the vector addition. But here we are only considering that the two vectors are in the same direction, but it may not be possible every time. Okay, so then what we can do? We can use the triangular law or the parallelogram law. Okay, so we can use any one of them depending upon the type of vector. So if I have this a vector, this is the tail of the a vector, this is the head of the a vector. Okay, from the head we have the tail of the b vector and this is the head of the b vector. So if the configuration is like this, okay, so now here I have to add a and b. Okay, a and b are representing the two sides of the triangle. So these two sides are in the same direction. So okay, a vector is in this direction, b vector is in this direction. So where I have the head of a, I have the tail of b. Okay, so now the vector addition is given by c, which is having the opposite direction. Okay, from the tail of a I have the tail of c and from the head of b I have the head of b. So this is the opposite direction and this gives me the vector addition. So now how I can find out this c vector mathematically? So easily I can see the direction and the magnitude. So from this triangle I can find out the magnitude as well as direction of c vector. So if I want to find out the magnitude of the c vector, how I can denote it? So magnitude of the c vector can be given with the help of the Pythagoras theorem. Now what I have done, I have resolved this b vector into the two components. So the first component is b cos theta because the angle is theta over here. The theta angle is the angle between the vector a and the vector b. So if I extend the vector a and this is the vector b, so this theta is the angle between the vector a and the vector b. I hope now you can see that. Now if I extend the two components of the b vector, here I will be having the b cos theta, here I will be having the b sin theta. Now simply I will be using the Pythagoras theorem. So magnitude of the c square, this is the hypotenuse, this is the base. What is base? Base is here a vector plus b cos theta. So here I will be taking all of the magnitudes only. Okay, so if I am talking about a vector, it is just the magnitude of the a I am talking about. Okay, because I am just finding out the magnitude over here. So don't get confused over here. This is just the magnitude. So a plus b cos theta square, this is the base square. If I talk about the height, it will be b sin theta square. So this is how I can represent the Pythagoras theorem. So now what it would be. So here I will be expanding this equation. So here it will be a square plus b square cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta plus this square is b square sin square theta. Okay, so now what I can do, I can take this b square and this b square common. Okay, so what I would be left out with, so here I will be having a square plus b square. If I have taken b square common from this and this term, I am left out with cos square theta plus sin square theta plus this term as it is, which is 2ab cos of theta. Okay, so now this cos square theta plus sin square theta, we know it is 1. So easily I can say magnitude of C vector is equal to under root, because here this square will be going here and it will be becoming the under root a square plus b square plus 2ab cos of theta. Okay, in the similar manner, I can find out the angle of the resultant. So if I have to find out the angle of the resultant, it is this. It is the angle of the resultant. So angle of the resultant is alpha, and alpha is given as tan inverse b sin theta upon a plus b cos of theta. So this is how I can find out the angle also. Angle is alpha of the resultant. So these are the two formulas which are used to find out the resultant, magnitude as well as direction. So now I have both magnitude as well as the direction of C, and this is how easily I can interpret what is C with the help of triangular law. In the similar manner, I have the parallelogram law. What happens in the parallelogram? So here both of the tails are originating at the same point, and now here this is the B vector, this is the A vector. Now what I will be doing? I will be making the parallelogram. I will be shifting the B vector over here. Okay, so now here you can see I have made it to be the triangular law. Okay, or what I can do, I can shift A vector also. So this vector is the B vector. Okay, the shifted version, if I shift any vector in space, the lateral shifting or the collinear shifting is not resulting into any type of change in the vector. Okay, so now here if I have this vector to be B, this vector would be A, because this shifting would not be causing any difference into this vector. So now here this is a parallelogram. You can see now that diagonal of this parallelogram will be giving me the resultant, and this is the parallelogram law. Okay, so now I have to put the tail at the tail only and head to the towards the head only. So this is how I can easily find out the resultant. Now you would be asking me, what about the subtraction? Okay, so this is all about the vector addition. Okay, so in the case of subtraction, again I have these vectors. So this is my vector A, this is my vector B. Let's talk about the triangular law itself. So now what I will be doing, I will be taking the minus B vector. What will be the minus B vector? It is the opposite of the or 180 degree shift of the B vector. So this gives me the minus B vector. Now I have A vector, I have minus B vector. Okay, so now here you can see again I can apply the triangular law and I can find out A vector plus minus B vector, which is equal to C vector. So C vector in this case is equal to A vector minus B vector. So this is how I can find out the resultant, which is the subtraction of the two vector. So I hope now you understood how I will be using the addition and subtraction operation. One more thing, you guys can be asking me to find out the addition of multiple vector. Here I had just two vectors, I added them. Here also I had just two vectors. Now let's suppose I have multiple vectors. Okay, so these are all of my vectors. So I will be taking any direction to be positive. Let's take this direction to be positive. So how I can represent all of the vector addition or the resultant of these all vectors? So I have taken this direction to be positive. So A vector is in positive direction. So B vector is also in the positive direction. It is in the same direction. So C vector is also in the same direction. I will be adding C. D is also in the same direction. You can see E is also in the same direction. But if I talk about F, F is in the reverse direction. So here I will be doing the vector subtraction. So I will be having minus F vector. Here G is also in the reverse direction, minus G vector, okay, and minus H vector as well. So this is how I can find out the resultant of more than two vectors. So here I will be concluding my session. I hope you understood the vector addition and the vector subtraction. The next video we will be talking about the dot product and the cross product or the vector multiplication. I hope you will be meeting me soon in the next video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel and do share it with your friends as well. Thank you so much.